Hi crafters, it's Karen. I have gotten a lot of questions on my mini albums and what hinge system I've been using. And lately I've been using Laura Dennison's Stack the Deck method. That's what I used for my last Halloween album. It works real great and it's really easy to do. I was trying to explain it to Lydia and I thought it's easier just to show her. So I'm going to do a quick tutorial and hope that I could make this simpler. So these are the measurements that you're going to want to write down. Let me put it in here. So these are the measurements you're going to want to write down and remember. 1 3/4, 2 1/4, 2 3/4, and then you're going to want to write down 3/4 inch hinge. So those are the only measurements that you really need. So for the first thing that you're going to want to do is determine what you're using for pages. I'm using these envelopes by Recollections, and they measure, I have them all here, they measure 5 3/4 in length. So my hinges have to be as long as my page, 5 3/4. So they're going to be 5 3/4 long, and then these other measurements. So the first one is going to be 5 3/4 inch long by 1 3/4 inch. So that's the size cardstock you want to cut out. 1 3/4 by however long your mini album is going to be. Then cut out a second piece of cardstock, and it needs to be 2 1/4 inches long by however long your pages are going to be. Mine are 5 3/4. So 2 1/4 across, 5 3/4 down. And then the last hinge that you need, excuse me, needs to be 2 3/4 inches across by 5 3/4, or however long your album is going to be. So 2 3/4 across. So now you have all your hinges cut. That second measurement that I gave you, the 3/4 inch, that's the size of your hinges, and that's where you're going to score all of these hinges. So let me move my notes. No, I'll just leave my notes. Let me move my Martha Stewart board. Okay, so you have all your hinges. We'll start with the first one, which is 1 3/4 across. You're going to score it at 3/4 inch on both sides. So 3/4 inch here, flip it, 3/4 inch here. That leaves 1/4 inch in the middle. Take the next one, the one that measures 2 1/4, and you're going to do the same thing. Score 3/4 on this side, flip it, 3/4 on this side, and that leaves 3/4 in the middle. Then take your last one. This is the largest one, and it measures 2 3/4 across. You're going to do the same thing. Score it at 3/4 on this side, flip it, 3/4 on this side. And then of course you want to fold all your score lines on every piece. Then you want to fold all your score lines on every piece. And you're going to start with this first one. You're going to use your score tape, and see how you folded them all. They all have a 3/4 inch sides. This is where you're going to attach your pages. This is where you're going to attach your envelopes or whatever it is you're using. Do you see? This is how you're going to attach them. So for your hinges at this point, you want to put some score tape or whatever type of tape you use. And you know, you want to use something heavy duty, like scrappy tape, score tape, or express-it tape, something other stronger than your ATG gun. And you're going to put tape down the middle here, down the middle here, and tape here. So you have them all taped up on the bottom. And then you're going to, and this is up to you, whether you want to do it now or after the hinges are connected. But you're going to need score tape on each hinge on both sides. So you're going to want to put score tape here and here, and then on the other side here, and then here, on all 3 of your hinges. Okay, so now all your hinges, excuse me, all your hinges are all taped up. Now you're going to stack them or nest them. So you're going to obviously get your largest one on the bottom, take your next medium-sized one, and remove the tape backing, and you're going to adhere it in the center. And you have to eyeball this. So you want to have it be directly in the center of this here. So you're going to eyeball it and lay it in and give it a good, score so it has a good adhesion. Then you're going to take your last one, your last hinge or your smallest hinge, and peel the backing and do the same thing. Eyeball it so it's pretty center in the middle of this hinge, and just adhere it in. And it should look something like that. Something like this. I've already adhered my hinges together. So this is basically your hinge system. This is what you'll end up with. And so far I've only put my score tape on both sides of these two. But I still need to adhere my score tape on both sides of each of my hinges. So now it comes time to adhere your envelopes, or whatever size envelopes you're using. You can also use like, say, a paper bag, to use this system to have a paper bag mini. And what you would do is open your bag in here, and your hinges, whoops. This is just an example. But, put your hinges in the middle there. So your paper bag, excuse me, even a paper bag can work with this hinge system. Or, you can make your own envelopes or whatever by taking a piece of paper, whatever you're choosing to do, and just, fold it to the size you want, and, adhere it this way. And then that becomes a page. So you could use this hinge system with several different ways, with several different types of pages. I'm using an envelope. So to prepare my envelopes, I sealed them all with my ATG gun, and then I cut a very tiny slit on this side so that it's open. Then you're gonna want to figure out if you're going to want it to be a pocket page envelope, you know, like if you want it open on the top or on the side, you know, for tags or whatever. And so if that's what you want, then slit them open before you attach it to the hinge. It makes it a lot easier. So I haven't decided if I'm going to use tags or, you know, which way I want my tags, so I haven't slit mine yet. But you're going to want to do that before you attach it to your hinge. So now we have a closed envelope and it's slit open on the side. We have our score tape or whatever on our hinges. It's also easier if you miter your edges. Can you see that? It makes it a lot easier to get them in the envelope or whatever you're using. So miter the edges after you add your tape. And then you're going to want to just peel the tape off of the underside first. Leave this tape on, you know, for now. But undo the bottom tape so that it's only sticky on that one side. Adhere your envelope in. So when you get your envelope or whatever it is you're using and it's adhered on that one side, then just reach in and with your craft knife or your nails or whatever and just pull out the backing of that other tape and give it a good score, and do that to all the pages. And then you'll have your mini album. So that's how you put together the you know, the hinge system. Then when it comes time to making the binding, you're gonna want to make your chipboard covers and your spine. So your spine should be a 1/2 inch wider than what your hinge is. My hinge is, let's see, my hinge measured 1.25 inches from here. You know, I'm not counting the flaps, I'm just counting this base part. Mine measures 1.25 inches. So I want to add a 1/2 inch to that to create my spine. Plus, you're going to add 1/4 inch to the size of your mini album. So my mini album is 5 3/4, or my pages are 5 3/4 by 4 1/2. So I'm going to add 1/4 inch to each one. So it's going to be, and I wrote it down, hold on. So my covers are going to be 4 3/4 by 6. And see how it's nicely 1/4 inch larger than my pages on all sides. So add 1/4 inch to both sides of whatever your pages are going to be. So this is my cover. My covers are going to measure 4 3/4 by 6. My spine is going to measure 1 3/4 because I added a 1/4 inch size to this, and I want it to fit perfectly, and it will. So that's how you measure. I hope I explained that right. I will leave simple instructions in the description box. I will, but that's how you make your base. So now you have both your covers, or all your covers and your spine. So then you're going to want to, you know, however you're going to cover your mini album, you're going to want to cut, and this is completely up to you. You're going to want to cut whatever you're going color or whatever piece of cardstock you're going to use for your spine, for the outside of the spine. You know, for this. Whoops, sorry, for this. Do you see? So this is my sheet of paper. So I'm going to want to adhere my spine in the center, and you're going to want to put score tape all over this piece of paper, or all over the back, or, you know, on the back of your chipboard. But I'm going to adhere that here, and then I'm going to adhere this here, and you're going to want to leave like at least 1/8 of an inch, you know, a tiny little space between your chipboard, so that there will be enough room for give, because you go, after it's adhered, you're going to want to turn it, you know, you don't want it too tight. So you put them on, leaving just an 1/8 of an inch or whatever it is, enough for the covers to bend, and you adhere them like that. Then you take another, this is how I do it, then you take another piece of cardstock, same size, and adhere it to the top, to the, you know, top of the spine and stuff. And then, you know, your spine and the covers are covered. Then you're going to take your hinge system, and at this point it has all the pages on it. You're going to want to take your hinge system. What did I do with my hinge system? Here it is. You're going to want to take your hinge system, and at this point it already has all of your pages on it, and you're going to put it in the center of your spine. I hope I've explained this well, and then, you know, the covers you'll be able to see that it's the middle. We can't see it because I haven't adhered this. I haven't, you know, scored it and bent this in. You know what I mean? But this will go, your hinge system, your pages, the whole thing will be adhered onto your spine, like this. So then you have your covers and all your pages, and then you can decorate, you know, your covers and all that as you see fit. If you're going to, obviously, if you're going to paint your covers a particular color, or you're going to cover them with a specific designer paper, you might want to do that before this step. But yeah, that's how I have done the stack to deck method for my mini albums. I will leave, and these are the notes. I have to go back every time I do this. I have to go back and look at my measurements every time. So I will put this information in the description box, and also if you want more space between your hinges or between your pages, like right now, these pages, the gusset is 1/4 of an inch. Well, if you want that gusset to be a little bit bigger so that it can accommodate, you know, your chunky embellishments and all your fun stuff like flowers and stuff, and you want to move this to be 1/2 an inch, I will leave those measurements also. You would make your hinges would just be a little bit larger. So I will leave those measurements in the description box as well. So I hope this helps, Lydia. I hope I haven't confused you. I didn't first really get this hinge system until I saw Olga, Mad Stamper 64, do it. And she really simplified it for me. And it really is easy peasy. I hope I didn't make it really hard. So there you go. If there are any questions, please leave them in the comments and I will get back to you. And also I will put these measurements in the description box. So thanks so much for watching and I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.